Hi, everybody. This is Mike with Dallas Geek, and we are here at the North Texas Comic Show.
Yep.
And we are here with
Rox Burkey.
And Charles Breakfield.
Cool. And you guys are the authors of the Enigma series.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Actually, it's an award-winning series.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Now, you gave me the rundown a couple minutes ago on what the series is all about, but why don't you tell our guests what the series is all about?
So, just to keep it short, in this particular series, this is a techno thriller series. So we take relevant technology, we apply it to situations that are in the here and now, but we base it on some loosely ties to the Enigma machine from World War II.
So is it an alternate history, or is it kind of we follow the same events as history unfolded and we just kind of put some wrinkles in there, or?
Good point. We actually put wrinkles in there, and we take it to a new thing and say, okay, Britain did their thing. We have this group that's doing their thing, and they're kind of doing it covertly to help cyber good guys against cyber bad guys.
Okay.
We see an awful lot of the cyber evil in today's world. You don't hear a whole lot about the good guys.
Sure.
And so we wanted to be able to kind of pull it out, and they don't just magically appear. They have history. They have roots in oppression. They want to be able to deliver righteousness, the help against the oppressive, and not knuckle under. But they don't want to take the limelight, because you don't want to be in somebody else's radar screen.
Sure.
So that's why they're harder to pick up. That's why they travel the way they do. The R group is the cyber good guys that I want to have fighting for me.
Okay, very cool. So it really sounds like you guys took you really want to make a concerted effort of like, hey, there's all this bad stuff that goes on with technology in the world, but on the other side, like there are people still fighting for good. There is still good in the world. There are still people looking out for everybody else.
Exactly, and that's kind of the fun of it. You know, having a group that maybe we don't recognize, it's not necessarily something you'd go embrace, but they still do look out for things and kind of make sure that the playing field is very level. That's what this group would do.
Okay, awesome. And then how many books into the series are we right now?
Right now we're 9 books published in the series.
Wow, okay.
They're available on ebooks, paperback, and the first 3 are actually available today on Audible, with the 4th one, The Enigma Wraith, going into production as an Audible.
Oh, okay.
So trying to make sure that people can get the information and understand and have fun with the story the way they want to do it.
Okay. Now, do we have a core set of characters, or do some books branch off to introduce newer characters, or do we still follow the same group as we're going on?
We have a character universe of about 150 folks that we spill in. Some get, they have an exit strategy that they didn't count on, kind of thing. And then we have a splinter group of the CATS team, the Cyber Assassin Technology Services. They're a little bit grittier in their approach to being able to get in the thick of things. They, instead of being in the computer room, just looking at screens, they're down there working with the people directly affected by the cyber attacks.
Okay, very cool. Now you said you guys are 9 books in. So how far ahead have you guys thought to take this, or do you guys just kind of take it one book at a time, or is there an end game, or what are we thinking here?
So there's no real end game. Okay. If you think about technology today, how fast does technology change? How often are there new things? That's what we camp onto, is the new things that are going on. You know, technology has changed from being a company-driven, you're going to buy this, to a consumer-driven, we want this. And so that flow through the technology is how we help position the theme for every one of the stories.
Okay, awesome.
To answer your question, what else are we working on? We're actually sketching book 10 now. We're about halfway through it, and it's quite relevant. We made the theme of it as cryptocurrencies and how they could be undermined, what the downside risks are. Not so much of a preaching, but more of a what if it does this? If it does this, then what does that mean for me, you, and the rest of the people trying to make a living?
Okay. And then, so It sounds like you guys are pretty up to date with what goes on in the world. Now, how much of real life events affect what's going on? So like you said, cryptocurrency, talking about Bitcoin and stuff like that, and potential collapses of governments and economics based on digital currency over actual hard currency. So how much of that actually plays into what you guys do going into a book or carrying from one book to another?
It's part of what strikes our fancy. We try to stay on top of current events. We know what technology has been. Our work has allowed us to be in the midst of technology while it's being created or delivered. So we have a different kind of perspective. We like to weave that into the stories because it makes them relevant.
Right.
But there are fiction. Not everything is absolute people.
Sure.
And then part of what we do is because we are technologists and with a day job, we get to see a lot of real-life exploits, things that are like, OMG, I never would have thought of that. And we take some of those and we sometimes take them a step further. And it's like, well, if they did this, then that means that this is possible. So those exploits, those aha moments, we're always mining that information from our day jobs to be able to get to that point where it's like, and now let's make it into a fun story.
Okay. Now, one thing I've always wanted to ask an author of a series is, I'm assuming you guys grow very attached to these characters and they kind of become part of you. So how hard is it when you get to a point where it's...
Time to let them go.
Exactly, when it's time to let them go, when you know this is the fate that we have sealed for this character. Like, how hard actually is that to kind of put that into effect?
It's got to be a good story. I mean, the characters are weaved in to the overall theme. And it's got to be a fun story, and there's got to be that gratification for the readers, like, yes, they were redeemed, or yes, they got whacked, or yes, they got away with the goods. Those are sometimes that's dictated by the beta readers we have, the people that send us emails saying, oh wow, give me more of this one, or I'm glad that one's gone.
And I think on top of that is it. You want to make sure the characters are true to themselves. And so we've had characters that, they were bad. Okay, we have a perfect pair of bad boys in one of the stories, the Enigma Rising. They're bad. But they're bad and yet appealing. So they had to have some redeeming thing to get them back into the fold where everybody's rooting for them to be good. So we help the readers find those kinds of characters as well. So bad guys can become good guys can become better, and really bad guys can die.
So it sounds like you don't have a problem getting rid of the bad guys then.
They're pretty easy.
We're particularly the pattern after some of the people that really ticked us off early on in our careers. We've killed most of those people off already.
A little bit of real life carrying over into fiction?
Yeah, it's I don't have anybody I don't have to look over my shoulder waiting for the federale to show up and say, hey, you, come here.
Awesome. Okay, now where can our guests find your books?
Oh, great question. So certainly all of them are available on Amazon. You can also go to our website, which is enigmaseries.com, and find all of the different options that you can buy them. You can look at book trailers on there and get sample chapters so that you know exactly what kind of stories each of them are. So that's all available for customers.
Okay, cool. And then you guys said you're working on book 10 right now. Is there a timetable as to when?
It'll be out this summer.
April timeframe.
April, okay.
We start hardening it and production. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into production. Okay, the editing, the rereads, let's try one more time. That may take us into early summer, but the finished product should be April timeframe. Awesome.
So, I guess one more time, sell us on why we need to go pick these guys up.
Because it's relevant technology today, set in an area that most people can relate to. You don't have to be a geek, though it certainly doesn't hurt. But it's things that you do every day. You have your smart devices. Are you vulnerable? Are you going to let somebody intrude on your life? Maybe that's an identity theft issue. But you will enjoy them because they're actually fun stories. They will take you away. You'll love characters. You'll dislike characters. So you'll become attached to them too. We're local in Dallas. If someone needs us to come and talk to a book group or something like that, we're happy to do that.
love to be able to convince you. And sometimes people have to talk to the authors, so we're good with that.
Awesome. Well, guys, I want to thank you for your time today. This was an absolute pleasure. We'll be picking up our copies today, right, Brad? Yeah?
Awesome.
Give me a thumbs up. There we go. Awesome. So again, guys, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And we will stay in touch, and we'll be waiting for book number 10.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Brad. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.